Sit down, have a cup, let's talk. What I'm starting to realize more and more is that repetitions build your reputation. In the gym, that's really obvious, it's very evident because each rep goes to building our muscle, building our endurance, whatever we're trying to do. I think mentally, with our mental toughness, it's a little bit harder to see those repetitions going to work. And even more so, we don't realize that repetitions lead to action. One of the stories that comes to mind is there's this preacher. He gets up on the pulpit and he tells this great story about forgiveness and reaching out to the people who have done you wrong and forgiving them. The entire congregation goes wild and like, oh my goodness, Pastor, you did so good. Thank you, thank you. Next Sunday, he gets up and you start to see faces get a little bit weary because he's given the exact same sermon they did last Sunday. It was still really good, kind of confused, but thinking maybe he just made a mistake. The entire congregation goes nuts. And then the following Sunday, my man hits it again. He starts off, and you already know that old lady in the church, Miss Adele. Miss Adele's like, listen, excuse me, you need to stop, okay? You said this the last 2 Sundays. You're giving us the same stuff. And the pastor, real calm and smooth, is like, okay, Miss Adele, the sermon was about reaching out and forgiving those who have done you wrong. How many people have you reached out to? Well, she said, I haven't done it quite yet. So he says, well, sounds like I need to get up there next Sunday and say the same thing, because I'm not coming up here to inspire you. I'm coming here to motivate you to act. That story has always hit me real hard because the repetitions aren't just to always build. Yes, when you tied your shoe the first time, you didn't stop, right? But that's very tactical. Sometimes the repetitions come in, I love myself. And you have to say it enough until you actually believe it and can act on it. I am worthy. You have to say it enough till you actually believe it and you can act on it. Sometimes the repetitions aren't in the actual work, but to get you to act. If you look at the mental models that get us to move and physically change our lives, it's a long process before we even step into the gym. We're thinking about it for up to 6 months before we even step into the door. It comes into question then, what things do we want to do that we haven't surrounded ourselves with enough repetitions of that thing to even act? For me, I think it's a deep self-belief that the doubt that I feel sometimes is fear that I haven't addressed. For me, for me right now, my biggest fear is that I would rather say I didn't try my hardest than to say I wasn't good enough. When I really sat down and dug deep into that, did it change overnight? Have I acted yet? No, but that's the repetition I'm surrounding myself with right now. Bro, fuck all that. Literally, like, forget all of that. At the end of the day, I have to get to the point where, not that I don't fear just not being good enough, but it doesn't matter. So I'll say it, and I'll try and see it, and I'll try and believe it. And hopefully through that repetition, the reputation builds itself. This speech brought to you by Gingerbeard Coffee here in Tampa. No, so quick review of the coffee. Honestly, it's a slam. This is honestly my second cup because we tried to do another video. It was trash because I didn't have the gas. But I'm gonna give this an 8.5, 8.7 easily. It's got like a nice chocolatey taste. Right now, it's a Democratic Republic of the Congo blend of coffee. They have some other Ethiopian blends at other times, but this one right here really hit. Like really hit for me. In the last video, I said, oh man, this is a coffee. I don't hate it. I genuinely like this coffee and can drink it black, no issues. I'm gonna sit with that. I hope you do as well. What repetitions have we just not surrounded ourselves with enough to get us to act? What is the action that we want to cause? Take it. Be well.